feed ourselves come from the land. How much land must we have? We've got to know just what it takes to feed an entire people. That means we are independent. We've taken our stomach away from our enemies. How much clay land must we have in order to make bricks, to start building houses? How much forest land must we have to cut down the trees and make wood to build homes? And we have to have land, and there is no compromising this.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. But the word economics comes from the Greek eikonomikos, but it has come to be defined as the science of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, or the material welfare of humanity. Now, a blueprint is something defined that acts as a plan, a model, or something providing guidance. An economic blueprint is exactly what we need.
1, 2, 3.
Doctor, you in the house? Lawyer, you in the house? Teacher, you in the house? Preacher, you in the house? Tell me something. If you don't eat well, how long will you practice law? If you don't eat well, you become the patient, doctor. So don't look down on a farmer, look up to a farmer, because today it will be us farming our own land, producing our own food that will save our lives. It hurts me to travel and see us so dependent on others for the basic necessities of life, when the richness of our land is there to produce all that we need and then some.
We're getting ready to do a little walk. Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. We are an international people. Our brothers and sisters are all over the world, desirous of doing business with us. But if we are not producing anything, we can't enter into trade and commerce with the nations of the earth. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote in Message to a Black Man, quote, as a people, we must become producers and not remain consumers and employees. We must be able to extract raw materials from the earth and manufacture them into something useful for ourselves. This would create jobs in production. We must remember that without land there is no production, and the surplus of what we produce we would sell. This would help develop a field of commerce and trade as other free and independent people whose population is less than that of ours, so-called Negroes. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
We're talking about revolution because that's the era that you're caught in. You're caught in a revolutionary era.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad outlined some basic principles. Number one, recognize the necessity for unity and group operation. Do you understand that if we can work together as a group in unity, we will be more successful, more powerful, more able to do the things that as individuals working by ourselves, we have never been able to do. Pool your resources physically as well as financially. Stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and operated. Keep in mind that jealousy destroys from within. Observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. Now, these are things that we must do. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to commit to save 5 cents a day. He said if we can save just 5 cents a day from our wages, 25 cents a week for 52 weeks in the year, that would mean we would put aside $13 a year that we could save in a national savings treasury. At that time that he wrote this, we numbered 22 million people and approximately 5 million were wage earners. Well, if 5 million wage earners save $13 a year, this would mean 65 million saved out of our wages in 1 year at the rate of 25 cents per week. It would be painless. Today, brothers and sisters, don't you think we can do better than what we were asked to do 48 years ago? According to government statistics, there are a little over 16 million blacks employed at some level. Well, look what happens if we raise the economic bar and contribute the same nickel a day. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
Greetings, listeners. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad, and I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock this morning on this Saturday, January 21st, very special day. And we're going to change the way we do things over the next few weeks or so. We're going to go back to an old format where we take our calls in the first hour, and then I share my thoughts in the second hour. So we're opening up the telephone lines right away and taking your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. Yes, it's been a while since I've taken your calls, but you know how that goes. I was making some connections overseas over the last few weeks. Some very successful projects potentially on the horizon. And by God's grace, this year 2023 is going to be another great one, despite the obstacles, despite the hurdles, despite the challenges, despite the ups and downs. We'll be celebrating 5 years of the Kwame Ture Center being opened for African Liberation Day this year, May 26th. So we may ask, where have those 5 years gone? Well, 2 of them were half through the pandemic, but the work continued. And that's my advice to Trinidad and Tobago, beloved. The work must continue. We have to keep stepping. We have to keep moving. We have to keep working. There's too much negativity in this land. And it's becoming like a normal. And I believe we have to guard ourselves against that. So this morning, beloved, today, we resume the weekly sessions of the George Padmore Boys Academy at the Kwame Ture Center. But we're starting from 10:30 now. So from 10:30 up to 12. We have a special session this morning. All are invited, but of course, our target are our young males from 5 years old up to 17 years old. And our theme this morning is today's youth, tomorrow's leaders. Today's youth, tomorrow's future. We have to continue to build our young people's belief in themselves, their self-confidence. We have to raise their self-esteem. We have to put on their minds land ownership and business entrepreneurship. We have to get them to think about not just accepting minimum wage employment, but to build for self. Listen, I'm sure you would have heard me say before, and I've been saying it in a lot of lectures, a lot of presentations, both here and overseas, that if 1,000 poor people grow $1,000 worth of food in a poor community in 1 year, that's $1 million in added food security, and that $1 million in added food security would be $1 million less in petty street crimes and robberies. Well, you know what? I can't say for sure, but I think just at the Kwame Ture Center, in grow boxes on hard concrete, I believe we have crossed that $1,000 mark in value already. In fact, maybe quite a while ago. I don't have the figures, I don't have the statistics. But imagine on hard ground. We constructed all of these grow boxes. Well, I keep saying 10 feet long. I think they're a little longer than 10 feet, but 3 feet wide. And we have planted pak choy, tomatoes, lettuce, okras, melangen, peppers, corn. And we're getting the young people involved in it. We have some young brothers who we gave one of the boxes to, who are now growing their own food and doing their own agribusiness on a small scale. But exactly what we're doing there, they and all of the rest of us could do it at home. So yes, we're growing food. This isn't something that we really expected to be doing. This wasn't really one of our plans when we were building the center, to grow food to that capacity. We started off with just 2 small grow boxes. Now, the amount of space, but it's easy to do. It's very simple to do. You can do this at home. Look, just last week we harvested 10 on one day. On one day, we harvested 10 pounds of tomatoes. And I understand tomatoes in some places, well, the prices fluctuate, but around $20 a pound. That's $200 in a snap. And don't talk about the price of pumpkins right now. And the melon gens, the chive, the pak choy, the lettuce, the corn. But it's almost like magic. Now, if we teach our young people, look, this is something that you can do as a project, and it's something that you can expand on. I'm not even talking about traditional farming. I'm talking about just get a circle of people, 30 people, a group of 30 people, to construct one of those boxes, even if you're living in a high-rise building. And you get in sunlight direct, and you have a little gallery space, whatever the case may be, it can be done. And even if you don't have that, you can do the hydroponics, which is another incredible project. But imagine 30 people getting together to do something like that, and then they trade among themselves or set up some kind of market. Listen, it's all there for the taking. And I'm dying for us to realize that all these opportunities are at our fingertips. You have to unite. It was heartbreaking to see in La Joqueta just a couple of days ago, these young people coming together and saying, look, we're not going to get involved in crime. We're not going to join any gang. We're not going to get any gun and rob anybody. So they came together and they built, I think it was 10 or 11 shacks to sell goods in as vendors in La Joqueta. Brilliant initiative for young people to come together with that kind of thinking. And I recognize some of the people in the news clip that was out, because I did a project with them, spoke at opening of a football academy that they have in La Joqueta. A great family out there that is doing some incredible work. So they get together to build these vending spaces. And then HDC comes and bulldozes them all down. All right, so the government representatives say, well, you have to obey the law. Well, I can assure you, beloved, yes, I agree. Of course, we have to obey the law. But I can guarantee you that if that was one of those wealthy elites from down in the West who had put up some building 20 times the size of all of those vending spaces, and it was illegal, they would never come and bulldoze it down. They would never do that. In fact, I'll go as far as saying they would not dare to do that. Would not dare, but it's poor people who are making an effort, trying to stay on the right track, get away from the crime. They have to be given some encouragement. If it was one of those rich bourgeoisie elites from down in the West, they would have called them in to have a discussion with them to see maybe how they can regularize their issues. But definitely not just destroy what they built. That's sick. It's sad. It's sad. It's almost depressing. Why? Why are we like that in this society? I was speaking to a young person yesterday who is working as a security guard. Long hours, far distance traveling. And he said there was some mix up with his pay. They gave him $900 and something for 2 weeks' work when he was supposed to get $1,100 and something for this 2 weeks' work. Daughter about to start some new school, needs money. And then just a few days ago, he's speeding down to get to work on time after doing some family duties, and he gets a ticket for $4,500. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing because he actually got another ticket for being parked outside a place selling food. His wife ran in to buy something. 2 tickets and $1,100 for 2 weeks. Now, I'm thinking, I'm not saying anything, but I'm thinking, you know, a lot of people in our society are finding themselves in situations like this, with their backs against the wall. Yes, we're all quick to condemn the criminals. We must. But we also have to have a system that takes into consideration what possibilities we could assist our population with when they want to get on the right track. They want to. Many people out there want to do right. But many are just so corrupt in spirit that even though they have the opportunities, they still won't. And what was really sad as well, and what you're seeing seems to be a growing trend of, again, I'm trying to understand it, but there appears to be a growing trend of soldiers and police officers getting involved in criminal activity. And we'll ask, what's up with that? 8 police officers. 8 police officers arrested. And then we had the incident couple months, or last month I think it was, with the 2 soldiers who committed a robbery. And you know what's so sad about that? I knew one of them very well. He was a brilliant footballer. I saw him recently, just became a father. Introduced me to his, I'm not sure if his wife, I think he had just gotten married, but she just had this baby. Introduced me to the baby and his wife. He was a friend of my son. They were in the same football club together. As a matter of fact, they were both the 2 goalkeepers for one of the teams. And we embraced, because that was the first time I saw him since the passing of my son. And then just about a month later, the shock. Now the thing is, I knew the challenges that he was facing. But when he told me, got into the army, he's in the army now, I was so happy for him. But apparently there was the persistence of some of these issues lingering. But we have to. Listen, there are some who will just go astray no matter what. There are some who, regardless of what, will turn to the wrong side. But there are many who are on the brink or the verge of making that toxic decision. It is those who will build the little vending spaces to sell something, those who will grow their own food, those who will want to start a business legitimately for themselves and go into it. It's those ones that are on the edge, just one bad experience away from turning to crime. It is those that the state has to be much more compassionate about, much more sensitive towards, and see what could be done to assist them in whatever way. Because I'm telling you, you see that gray area, like I said, I admit, I concede that there are those who will become criminals no matter what. But I think that right now in our society, there's a huge proportion of citizens who don't want to turn to that lifestyle, but just might because of how hard things are, how prices are going up, how unemployment is increasing. We'll come back with your calls.
We are the street. The street. The 919 FM. The only radio station bringing perfect balance between entertainment and talk. Updating you with current affairs and social issues.
So what, we should just sit down and take the foolishness that's being meted out because of all you feel that all you real bad?
Right? Unlike his situation that I don't even want to go back and bring up and highlight.
You don't have a good record where that is concerned?
Having you in the loop with trends and entertainment. Providing music that lives on.
Darling, I feel the disco.
And spiritual food for the body, mind, and soul. The Street, the 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio
You are invited to join Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Check out the Children's Hour Worship Ministry of the Word and the Family Forum every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Law and You, and every Friday evening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All Night Prayer Live on the Street 919 FM, designed with you in mind. This program deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and walk humbly with thy God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222. For further information, call 753-1113 or email us at church668hope@gmail.com.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
All right. So, welcome back. You know how it goes. We have this ad break here now. So, our telephone lines are open, beloved. 342-0081 and 466-5391. And I'm saying a lot of us in this society are on edge right now. Something has to be done about that. You know, today is Errol Barrow Day in Barbados. I just got a message from Barbados ambassador. Let me just read a couple quotes from him really quickly. So Errol Barrow, former Prime Minister of Barbados, he said, "My government, I assure you, sir, will not be found loitering on colonial premises after closing time. We will be friends of all but satellites of none." He said, "If we have failed to comprehend the essence of the regional integration movement of the Caribbean, the truth is that thousands of ordinary Caribbean people do, in fact, live that reality every day." And it is a fact. Errol Barrow, as sitting Prime Minister of Barbados, referred to Ronald Reagan as that cowboy in the White House for his invasion of Grenada. All right, so... Oh, gosh. Caller, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you still in, Brother David? It's nice to communicate with you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great to hear
we
you.
Passed we couldn't communicate with you. Anyway, Brother David, what I want to say, the destructions that we are seeing is African youth getting themselves into business, and they will always do that. It's not the first time. I saw in a Rima, right opposite the gas station at the Minu there. I went there and I saw them breaking down some things on the side of the road there also. Where people are doing, are selling produce, provision, and this sort of thing. It's not the first time they do it. And when you look at it, it's only the African who do that in Arima.
Sick, brother.
Right in front of Royal Castle on the pavement. There's a guy that's put up a big tent and selling doubles there. They never move as far as I see. Never on the pavement, you have to walk on the road. They wouldn't move him. When you're going on Central down there, on the old ceremony road, a set of little shacks by the side road to sell crab and all these kind of things. They wouldn't interfere with them. But African people must remain consumers all the time. But I want to go into something. There's a calypso by Stalin called One Black Slave. You ever heard that calypso? I don't think you ever heard it. Because I'll tell you why.
Doesn't
it was
sound familiar.
What you said?
No, I'm saying it does not sound very familiar, the title.
I know. Because you know why? They ban it. The church banned it when he sang that calypso. He could never play it on radio. That calypso. And you know why the calypso when he played on radio? Because that you must look for it, Brother David. I heard it on a radio station in Tobago. First time I ever heard it. I heard part in a call, and the guy told me the name of it. And our sister said somebody had requested from Tobago for what's his name, a short pants, and he played it. I think all Africans should listen to hear that calypso. It's one of the greatest calypso he has made. That one slave, that must never escape, must never be freed. You must hold that slave, hunt him down, get him, because what that slave could do to your plantation and could do, you understand, to the other slave, you could free them, you understand, so catch him, you understand, put him, baptism, christen him, give him communion, you understand, christen him, confirmation, so they give him all these things, keep him in check, educate him, employ him. That calypso called One Slave, and was banned during the period of Timber Ryan was the head of the church in China at that time. A guy, I was discussing with a guy, he said yes, he said he was in 10, he said the church had banned it, and they all, what did they to him? They did it to calypso also, by the Lenten season, falling, the Ash Wednesday, that killed calypso and steel pan in this country, because after Tuesday night, 12 o'clock, you couldn't play it again. So that is responsible for the demise of the calypso and steel pan in this country. So you couldn't play it at all. And it reminded me of a friend of mine who had two girl children to get baptized, christened. They asked me for names because of my consciousness. I said, okay, I look at them from two beautiful African names, Ayula and Abiola. I'll give it to them. They went to the church, but they had them already and everything. They went to the church to christen those two children. The Catholic church in Manzanilla, after they actually left on site. The priest refused to christen them. They said, they get their name. They said, go for you, run them. They had to go in the to the Baptist and have it done. So that calypso called one slave. Look for it, ask for fans so they can get it, they can get it, and listen to that calypso. That black man is one of the most conscious African man that ever passed through here, you understand? As an entertainer, if you check him, everything he sang is around himself and his people. Freedom, liberation of his people. That man called Black Stallion. And that calypso, they wouldn't play it in the radio, no, you know. Even so they tell him that they wouldn't play it. One slave. Listen to him, my brother. It's not easy. Our people have to understand that we are in trouble. If we don't come together as a community, they will always destroy us. We are not to get into business. We are to remain consumers. Yeah. You understand? So you have a good day, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And peace and love and blessings to Brother Black Stallion. You know, I was blessed to be able to visit him at home. I actually think that was May 24th, 2019. It's about 2 years back. But my beloved brother, Junior Bisnath, who is in charge of the Moko Jumbies, he took me there because I had to go down and collect something, and we had a beautiful discussion also with his wife, and you know, oh man. But may Allah be pleased with our beloved brother. But listen, family, we have to, beloved, we have to re-examine the logic under which we're governed. How come it's illegal not to wear a seatbelt in a car that you're driving, but it is not illegal to not wear a bulletproof vest when you're more likely statistically to die by being shot in this country than you are to die in a car accident? As a matter of fact, it's illegal if you do wear a bulletproof vest or are in possession of one. Why is that so? And if you're driving on the highway and you hit a pothole and the pothole damages your car by destroying one of your lights, and then the officer stops you, you have to pay through one of these highly priced tickets instead of the state, who should have fixed the road, having to pay to repair your car. And to the young people in La Hakata who opened up those vending booths because they didn't want to turn to crime, they didn't want to rob anyone, they wanted to go on the right track and do something positive for themselves, but HDC came and bulldozed down all of their shops, denying them an opportunity in the name of obeying the law. I can assure you that if it was the rich, wealthy, elite bourgeoisie who had built some huge building down in the West, the government would have never bulldozed down their building, but they would have respected them enough to sit with them to have a discussion about how they can regularize their property. We have to ask ourselves, who is the law protecting? Who is the law designed to serve? And when we realize that, trust me, beloved, it will make us unite as a people. Because as it is right now, Caller, good morning.
Good morning, brother David. Just let me turn on the radio.
Right, so go ahead and speak, whether you're hearing me or not. Okay, go on.
Yeah, brother David, good morning. How you going, brother?
I'm good, thanks. All praises due to Allah.
I'm going to touch on the topic this morning that I told you already. There is no space in this country for the black man. The black man must always be the beggar, the worker. You can't be a successful man in this country. But David, yesterday, a black brother of mine just go down Sugar has to buy some flour. He have a little small bakery at home to mind his child. Just because he reversed out of a traffic line to save somebody from bouncing in a vehicle, he was end up with a ticket for $20,000 before the magistrate because he have an international license.
Wait, what kind of ticket costs $20,000?
Because he have an international license. The police system don't understand what an international license is for. All the Venezuelans who get all the international license go and pay $3,000, but because this is a black man, he end up having to pay $20,000. You understand me? I can bring the thing and show you. All of my passport, everything. All this man wanted was to do is to go and buy flour, buy an Indian business place to make bread to sell. That's all he sell in the back of the car trunk in front of the gate. You understand me? So I told you, when I told you all the while, there was no space in this country for the black man. There was no politician in this country are black conscious. They are not. For the minute they touch that parliament step, they are no longer conscious about the people where they're coming from. And when I taught this thing on the radio, I would feel it's joking business because they are not connected to the ground to see the suffering of people. The amount of Venezuelans I see in that station, they get charged for driving with foreign license yesterday. Because guess what? The government don't understand that you invite people here, they want to do their own thing, they will want to drive. You should be like Donald Trump when you open up the license system in New York that every man wants to drive in, go and get a permit. David, you know the restriction it takes to get a permit in this country as a Trinidadian alone, as a Trinidadian. I don't think you even know. I had several businesses all registered paying tax. Up till today, I can't get a business account for none of these business. And I pay my tax, my NIF, my BR number, everything I'm paying. And when I talk them things on the radio, you see this joke in there, David. I had to wire my money to Western Union every month outside of the country to use a credit card from a bank in Jamaica to run my business. Every month I have to make sure I pay a credit card on time so I can keep afloat of my business to pay for goods here, but they have to collect the credit card here because they realize it's an international credit card. They will have now, me get my daughter passport, my daughter born, all kind of people I know went for their passport. After my daughter owner, she still get it. What these people want from me, I don't know. But I tell them, the next time they come around me, they will have to charge me for something serious. Because anyone in officer touch me, when the Englishman touch me, I put a hand on me. I sit in that down flat on the ground. Me know my passport number of refugees. She can't be holding my passport for me. The Jamaican government they write them several times. They write the minister, he never returned a question. He never returned a letter back to them. And when I publish something in the media, everybody want to say Jamaica, take a time, no man, take a time now. These politicians and them, David, I tell you, they don't care about, the youth they were born at Trinidad and Tobago. All they care about is to fill them pocket, make sure they have bank account at the US. But when they're going to wake up one morning and find out the US bank account what they have is no longer value to them. Because they don't watch the global scale. They turn it into cryptocurrency and turn to all the currency because the US don't have no value on the outside anymore. So they're going to wake up one morning and say the US become a NAFTA dollar. They no longer use it nowhere. So they can continue scraping and hiding and not about their people, to feed their people. Then you could use business up there, in Lakita. They rip it down. You know what they want to use them to do? Thief car, rob people, shoot people, and then they lie your friend and them get what to bail them out. That's what they're doing. It's all about going to court and bail them, David. Nothing else and nothing further from the truth. And I've been warning this country all the time. Poor people, before we vote, because no politician would need his own and voting there they have strength for you. Everything is dangerous. And I keep telling you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, my brother. Well, it's like what it says in the book of Ezekiel, that the people are warned first by God sending them a messenger, and then they don't listen, so he sends another messenger and sends him again. Warn the people, let them get themselves in order, but they're not listening, and then God tells the prophet, stop warning them. Don't warn them anymore. Then it says he sent a violent wind to whip them. And the people in this context were referred to as the dry bones in the valley. Is that us? Are we so hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious to just not see the simple signs around us? So the Prime Minister of England was charged for not wearing a seatbelt. All right, we'll be back in the next hour. Stay with us.
The street comes alive with the mother of all carnival.
Everybody, let us meet on the street.
91.9 FM, the soca frequency from inception.
Plenty vibes, we just shed it like we bring the heat on the street.
It's the mother of all carnivals.
Yeah, what I need, a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of rum. Right down is non-stop.
This here go be water mix up with beer. We jump in, yeah. This here go be water mix up with beer.
Yo, this is the mother of all cannibal. Mother of all soca. The official station and the destination. The street 919. All new soca full. All new soca full.
All soca, all day.
Tell the DJ, play some soca music. You see this cannibal? I also like garbage.
Nobody does it better than on the street.
91.9 FM. 91.9
Yo, this is Iwer George, the big boss of the business. When I want to listen to a radio station, I listen to 91.9.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
2020, I did a collaboration with Kes the Band, a song called Stage Gone Bad, and we won the road march. I'll give you a round of applause, please. Basically this year, I decided to do a collaboration with me, Iwer George, and you, the people. I want to hear every voice from every house. Are you ready? Selector, give me beer with it. This here go be water mix up with beer. We jump in, yeah. This here go be water mix up with beer. I hope all you hearing me loud and clear, yeah. We mixing the water and beer. Take a jump off.
bills to pay. And so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
TV is here, and for Carnival 2023, we're bringing the Calypso Dance straight to your big screen TV. Rock TV is bringing pay-per-view direct to you. Log on to rock.tv and pick pay-per-view event you want to see. All the culture you can handle: Calypso, steampunk, mass, brass. Purchase individual events or pay for our season pass. Even if you missed it, you can do video on demand. Watch whenever you want. Log on for details.
The largest gathering of women ever. The world's biggest soca superstars. Patrice Roberts with the 18 band. Nadia Batson and Sass. Voice. All queens of soca will be there to support the queens of soca. This thing I'm gonna be like a Really fabulous, lyrical. Mama Nappy, Problem Child. I enjoy.
There will be water mix up in here.
Banals, Adamo, Moto. Special guests and big surprises. Everybody and them whip. Get tickets now at Cachets Nationwide. Extra Foods Grabbers up. IslandEtickets.com. For more info, call 774-5555. The official ladies event in Carnival. Soca for her. 23. Friday, February 3rd.
Tobago! Get ready for the return of the Embassy Yacht to Tobago. February 22nd to 25th and March 3rd to 5th. Boarding at the Pigeon Point Jetty. Cost is $16,500 and comes with house DJ, sound systems, fully stocked bar, cleaning crew, and security. For more information, call or WhatsApp 281-4723-399-5959 or 324-4227. Email us at coralvisiontT@gmail.com or find us on Facebook and Instagram at Embassy Cruises for bookings.
Me say you wake up in the morning and you just realize NCRH is vaccinating again. And you're ready to hit the road and you're ready for the road because you know you are vaccinated. So we are vaccination Go on, let us have your vaccine card. Shut up, we're gonna see it. Don't end up playing mass in your bed. Take the vaccine instead. Aye. So don't wake up to the morning and have to stay in bed because you are not vaccinated. And the truck ready to go and the jeep ready to go. Get your vaccine fast, let me go. Hey, sorry, yo, this is Iwer George, the big boss in the business. And go and get vaccinated. Don't end up spending carnival in your bed. Get vaccinated instead. The boss in the business says so.
This is a message from the North Central Regional Health Authority.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar. As my life.
This
steel pan, the only musical instrument invented in the 20th century, is a reflection of the perseverance and innovativeness of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, which have always been central to our development as a nation. And the steel pan story epitomizes this, carved out of life and struggle and determination, rising out of the spirit of the African drum. The steel pan stands today as evidence of innovativeness, creativity, and passion for life integral to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Kwesi Paul. Join me each and every Sunday from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight on the street, 91.9 FM.
Trinidad and Tobago. On Sunday, February 5th from 1 p.m., the National Panorama Semi-Finals will feature medium and large bands on the big stage at Carnival City, Queens Park, Savannah. We're celebrating 60 years of sweet, sweet pie. Come support your band. Grandstand tickets are only $300. North Stand, $400. Bring your posse to this Savannah party. Get your tickets at the Grandstand, Trinbago's head office in Port of Spain, and online at islandetickets.com. Brought to you by Trinbago and the National Carnival Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. Supported by Caribbean Airlines and White Oak. For more info, contact Trinbago at 235-5493 or events at pantrinbago.co.tt. The National Panorama Semi-Finals. Nothing sweeter than pan.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
And then the name of the slave master was given, which we refuse. We reject that name today.
You mean you won't even tell me what your father's supposed last name was or gifted last name was?
I never acknowledge it whatsoever.
Let me ask you about the status of Elijah Muhammad. First of all, is he ill?
I spoke to him today. He is in